Hello, everyone. Welcome along to the Steve Rains show. I'm your host. I'm joined by Mr. Richard King tonight. How are you doing?
Very good. I'm inside the house, so internet is not as bad as it was last week. So positive step
Yeah,
already.
the weather's turned on us, Rich. We had a nice little podcast in the sun last week.
We did.
Tim is back. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Caleb's still not asleep, but I've passed on that responsibility. So
Is that what that bang was before we come on? Your partner
that was
slamming the door.
That was the handing over the baton. Yeah.
And we are joined by Ben Rolfe tonight, and that's a little hint into our show. But how are you doing, Ben?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Glad to be here again. It's been pretty much a year since we talked about this same topic last year.
Yeah, it's just 3 years on the bounce now, so it's good to have you back, Ben.
It's good to be here.
Good. To start off with a little bit of news, Aaron Rodgers has gone back, and he let it all lay out. Really, it was an entertaining watch, shall I say?
And over to Kingy.
Yeah, I thought it was quite entertaining. I mean, the amount of there wasn't even really subtext, was there? Because the bits that would normally have subtext, he was like, "No, I'll just tell you exactly what happened. I wasn't happy. These are the reasons I wasn't happy, and I'm still not sure if I'm happy. but I will play this year because they're going to bring back my mate Randall. Which, by the way, the Texans, I know you're trading him for a sixth, right? But to me, it's like you're not even trading Randall Cobb. You're trading Randall Cobb and the fact that Aaron Rodgers is going to play. You could get more than a sixth for that, surely.
The question is Jordy Nelson coming in as a tight end?
Well, he'd probably be the only wide receiver who isn't returning as a tight end at the moment. So, I mean, I'm an old romantic, so I'd love that. Just one last time, Rodgers to Nelson. That'd be beautiful. But I mean, we're not going to see that, are we? Let's be honest.
They're not going to give him that much.
Jordy Nelson did put out a little tweet, I think, where it was just him in full Packers uniform on his sofa.
Put me in, coach. You could be a long snapper, maybe. I don't know how much that takes to do. Or
brilliant. I don't know. But it's fantasy-wise, it's good for all aspects in Green Bay, Ben. Correct?
Yeah, pretty much good for everybody, really. Whether it's Lazard, Valdez-Scantling, whoever gets on the field is going to benefit from this. So, I mean, the only person it's not good for in fantasy is if you were banking on Jordan Love, I guess.
Yeah, they clearly don't like what they've got in Jordan Love. I believe.
Well, it's probably not good for if you took Cooper and not Cooper, Rodgers in Dynasty rookie drafts this year as well, because you were probably thinking, oh, that's a nice little slot receiver role he'll have. Oh no, they brought in Randall Cobb.
Yeah,
I don't know. He gets to spend a year with Randall Cobb.
That's true.
Cobb's contract is not guaranteed after this year, so if Rodgers leaves, Cobb's going with him. So I guess it just means Amari Rodgers is going to spend the year with Jordan Love.
Yeah, I mean, actually, just looking at that comment, the thing that hit my mind is maybe just sign Jordan Nelson to be a cornerback. He cannot be worse than what we have. So.
Yes, it was an interesting one. I got it. I loved the press conference. I just thought I love Aaron Rodgers anyway. I know if we had Jamie here tonight, he'd be going off on one. So yeah, I love Aaron Rodgers and everything he's about. Boys, Ben, we've got you on really to talk about the UK Fantasy League, and it's a great league. We are going into the third year of it this year. I just want to get a breakdown from both of you, Kingy and Ben. What's the sort of origins of this league?
I'll let Kingy start because his story is kind of what began it, and I just put the finishing touches to it and then let him do everything.
That's what I normally do with Kingy, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what he's here for.
Yeah, so the origin started out with so my brother got diagnosed with leukemia, and I wanted to raise some money for his stuff. He was very lucky to be given a course of treatment funded by Cancer Research UK, and he's now cancer free, which is great. And even though he was balding, he actually gained hair during chemotherapy, which is very strange. But yeah, so I wanted to raise money, and there was no way. I mean, you can see me from the shoulders up, but like, there's no way I'm running a half marathon or anything like that. Like, the only marathons I'd be having are the old school Mars bars. That's a little joke for the adults. So I decided to do a charity league because there was a Scott Fish Bowl, but there wasn't really anything.
Was a marathon a Mars bar or a Snickers?
I don't know, mate. To be honest, I hope it was a Mars bar.
Overthinking this a little bit.
Yeah, overthinking the basic. Okay, I'll put it a different way. I ate Terry's chocolate orange as part of my 5 a day. Okay, how about that? That's better, isn't it?
Okay. Right. Kev, if you're listening, you're probably the oldest listener, so if you could let us know if that was the case with marathons, then that'd be great.
I think it might be a Snickers now.
I've done a quick Google. It was a Snickers, but it's owned by the Mars company, so you can both have a win on this one.
You're too nice, Ben. I was a big old.
I'm just trying to keep the peace here.
So yeah, I basically decided I was going to try and raise money for charity. Charity leagues weren't really a thing in the UK at that point. So I spoke to Ben because, as I do with most things, when I ever have an idea, I need to check with Ben if it's like sensible, or if it's just like, nah, mate, stop drinking in the day. It's not good for you. So I spoke to Ben, and then Ben was like, yeah, I think this might be a good idea. Let's explore it a little bit more. So then we just kind of went for it. Really, just kind of pulled the pin and went full bore at it. So that's kind of where we went. And Ben sketched up a picture of how the playoffs were going to work, and I didn't really understand it. And I said that his handwriting was atrocious, and he needed to type it out for me. And that is still the playoff picture to this day. Although we need to decide what we're doing with this new Week 17 mess.
Crap.
I'll draw a picture.
Okay, cool.
Sorry,
that's the origin. That's how it started out.
You've sort of said it there, but that leads me on nicely. Really, the format of the UK Fantasy League. How does it work, and what's it all about?
It's very much going to be the same again this year. It worked quite well last year. We like the scoring. We like the kind of super flex and the more flex options to give everyone a bit more flexibility, especially going into a season where, once again, we don't really know what COVID's going to bring. That was a big reason for the kind of general flexibility of the lineups last year, was we didn't know how people were going to be able to field rosters week to week. So by having lots of flex options, it meant if everyone's running backs were wiped out, at least they could still field a team and you weren't wiped out through bad luck. So we kind of like that format. We're going to stick with it. The scoring's going to stay very similar, but with some bonuses added for, I think, is it 40-yard completions, receptions, and rushes?
Yeah. So basically, anything over 40 yards will get a bonus to it. So 40-yard completion bonus or a 40-yard passing touchdown, rushing touchdown, rush. All of those nice bonuses. Another change we made was we made the tight ends slightly less overpowered. Last year, they were pretty overpowered with like the extra points for everything. So we've dialed that back a little bit. So hopefully get a nice little balance.
So you are keeping it Superflex this year?
Yep. Kept the Superflex, and you've got like 5 flex spots. So wide receiver, running back, or tight end. So. Yeah, we only mandate that you have to start 1 quarterback, 1 running back, and 1 wide receiver. After that, it's up to you for the other 6 spots. Because the thing is, right, ultimately, this should be fun, right? So it should be something that you want to do. And who are we to tell you who needs to be in your team? It's up to you, right?
Yeah, it is. Tim Tebow 101 then, yeah?
Yeah, with his dual quarterback tight end eligibility that he'll have by mid-season, then you never know what you can do with him.
I mean, I've said it to everyone. I am waiting for when they run a Philly special, Tim Tebow to Trevor Lawrence, and if that happens, I would recommend that everyone just logs off Twitter for at least 48 hours, just to help them with bandwidth, because I imagine it'll melt.
My only concern with that is that Tim Tebow still might not be able to hit Trevor Lawrence if he was as open as Nick Foles was in the end zone.
I mean, no. In all fairness, in my scenario, Tim Tebow is aiming at DJ Chark across the field. It's just so happened. Yeah, just as he's throwing it across his body, it comes out far too early, and scoops off to the right.
Boys, just a little bit of last year, the recap. Who was the champion? It wasn't me, so you'd know if it was me. But who was your champion? And yeah,
I'll bring it up. We had it was a guy in, I remember it was a guy in Belfast, because I remember saying to Tim, "Can you sort this out for me, please? Thank you." Tim,
it was
Tim
a Polish person in Belfast, wasn't it? If I remember rightly. Wasn't it a Polish person?
I think it was. I think you're right. Tim's always been a very supportive person with all of this. So he donated a fantastic prize of a signed JJ Watt helmet, and his screen name was Daniel Dan, and I know it's Dan and it begins with K, and it is a Polish sounding name. Who is playing again this year? I can't remember what division he's in, but I know he's playing again this year, so he's out there ready to be.
I thought we banned all winners after Craig Ramsey's won it year one.
No, what we did was we made that rule, and then we just rescinded it.
Yeah, anyone who won it who wasn't Craig, that was the rule, wasn't it?
That's what. Yeah, and we actually made it more specific last year, and said past winners cannot play brackets except for anyone who isn't Craig.
If Jack wins it, we may add Jack to that.
Definitely. Yeah.
I promise, guys. I promise I will never ever mention it if I win it. All right, never.
I'm sure.
They'll go on your bio, mate. Don't. You probably get a tattoo.
That'll be the end of the yearly appearance on this podcast.
You mentioned the scoring for year 3, just a little bit there. So we got the extra full point. Is it for 40-yard bonuses? Not hard.
You get 2. So if you have a 40-yard completion bonus, you get 2 points, and if you get a 40-yard pass touching, you get another 2. So you could have, for a 40-yard touchdown, you'll get 10 points plus the yardage.
This is where you need someone like Ted Ginn in his prime with Drew Brees for that one game a year.
I think you mean 10 points including the yardage, but it's not like you're the accountant here or anything.
I said 10 points and the yardage, no?
Well, it depends if you're talking about a rushing touchdown or receiving touchdown. They all add up differently, Rich. But I think for a rushing touchdown, you're looking at 6 points for the touchdown, 2 for the bonus for the yards, and then whatever the 41, 42 yards, whatever that adds up to. So you could potentially be looking at 12 points for a 42-yard touchdown, really, which is quite going to add a little bit. It's hard to predict. It's going to make it a little bit less easy for people to work through projections and stuff like that, which not that projections really work after about week 3 of the season when it's all gone to pot because of injuries and people dropping passes. But we just wanted to make it a bit more fun. I don't like chaos. I like everything to be normal, but Rich wanted chaos.
I love a little bit of chaos. Like, I like people to think this doesn't seem that bad. They've only changed this, but really, there's no way you can really think about the predictability of that week to week. I want maximum pain.
So has QB scoring stayed the same?
QB scoring is the same. You got the bonus, obviously, but other than that, it's 6 points for a passing touchdown, 2 point conversion is 2 points, pass intercepted is -3. But I think it's an interesting little fable.
Yeah, we thought about the incompletions thing, but the problem is if you take it too far away from a normal fantasy league, it becomes kind of irrelevant to other fantasy leagues to some extent. Once you start throwing in very niche stats like completion, incompletion, until they become kind of more mainstream in people's fantasy leagues, it's like with Scott Fishbowl. It's a great format. It's really fun to be part of. But once it's over, the ADP and all of that is completely useless to everybody else because the scoring is so different to everyone's sort of standard leagues. And at least this way, okay, you've got the bonuses, but generally the scoring's pretty much in the ballpark that someone who's just preparing for their normal fantasy league can use that research to also take part in our league as well.
Yeah, I mean, like one thing is that we've actually offered a league for people who have never played before, and it kind of gives them like a bit of a safe space. Like, so it's kind of standard. We're not made it uber wacky, so that if you're just thinking, oh, I just want to play fantasy because none of my friends do, like, there's a spot for you in this league. And if you've played loads of leagues before, then those little changes to the scoring make it a bit more exciting for you. So that's kind of what we tried to do with it.
Is that league for first time as the one that me and you are in, Rich?
This would be the first time that we've been in UKFL together. Obviously, we've been in leagues. I think last year we were in some leagues together. But
I mean, having played in leagues with Rich, it is like playing with the first timers. So,
mate, it absolutely is. I mean, we're going to move on to strategy in a few minutes, but my strategy in a lot of these leagues is just press buttons and hope for the best. like it's completely different. So in these large scale leagues, like let's just touch upon that. So in it doesn't matter what you're playing, like Scott Fishbowl, this the Warrior Bowl, and I can't even think of any like season long kind of leagues. I'm sure I'm forgetting like a million of them, so apologies. Steve Rain, well, that's Best Bowl, so it's slightly different as well, right? So I meant like a proper like normal redraft league.
Yeah.
So the strategy really, you need to make it into the last dance, but you need to have something different about your team as well. And the way I've always made my teams different is I just choose players that I enjoy watching. To be honest, that's when I've enjoyed my teams most, because I have leagues where I'm competing, just within my division, and in those leagues I'm going to be fighting to, just beat that competition. Whereas in these things, your chances of winning are so small. I mean, we're going to have, I think at the moment we've got 18 divisions. We'll probably end up with probably 20. And you're thinking, out of all of that, one person's going to win. So your chances are quite small. So just have a good time with it would be my strategy.
Yeah. Speaking of charity leagues, this is the only thing I've sort of been taking on this year. Is charity stuff, and I know me and you, Rich, are in a group with Scott, who's going to be working on something to pull all the charity leagues together, so to speak. So yeah, watch the space for that, because that'd be a handy tool for anyone. If you just want to have fun and just join some unique leagues that are just for charity, then look out for that in the near future. Boys, let's move on to the strategy. And well, is there a strategy? Rich is gonna smash buttons and hope. But Ben, I'm going to come to the sensible one. Is there a strategy?
I don't echo the just smashing buttons. Random things happen there, but I do echo the have fun type aspect. Just if you're stuck between two players, pick the guy that you'd rather watch play each week. So if it's, I don't know, bad example because he's retired, but Kyler Murray or Drew Brees, I know which one I'd rather watch play each week. I'd rather watch Kyler Murray running around like a lunatic every week than I would watch Drew Brees, Tom Brady surgically picking apart defenses. So it's a little bit about that, especially when guys are close. Like for me, obviously it's a super flex league. I'm going to lean heavily quarterback, especially in a league that doesn't penalize incompletions. But it really does come down to your enjoyment of watching football and making sure that on a Sunday you're kind of happy with what you're doing. And I actually found the best way to do fantasy is kind of on a Sunday is to put my fantasy teams to one side, just enjoy the football. And then on a Monday morning, pull up my app and find out how my fantasy teams did. Because if you play in as many leagues as I'm sure all of us do, you drive yourself a little bit crazy with Devontae Adams has scored a touchdown. Right, that helps me in those 5 and hurts me in those 6. And before you know it, the mentalness of it is just making you not enjoy football anymore. So, I mean, that's always my approach on a Sunday is just pick players I like to watch, but ultimately put the app to one side. And then maybe late on a Sunday afternoon, I might flick it open. But in terms of drafting, like I say, it's always got to be quarterbacks heavy in a super flex league. no matter what Rich does to try and downplay tight ends, I'm always going to try and get Travis Kelce if I'm in a position to draft him, because I just love drafting Travis Kelce. But, I mean, outside of that, I always leave wide receiver late. I find wide receiver pretty samey from sort of all the way down. There's big tiers. Like if you kind of draft two of the guys between 15 to 20, you're almost as good as getting a guy in the top 10 and a guy sort of 20th. They're all so close all the way down, it feels like.
Yeah, no, I agree. Tim, you got any strategy that you're going to go in with this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was something you said a lot last year in the off-season, was drafting people that you like, not just people who you necessarily like watching. Just, there's a lot of dicks in the league, right? There's a lot of very unlikable players who play NFL. You're not a dick, Rich. You just act like one. But it's do you want to pick like exactly what you're saying, like Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams? I know who I'd rather watch and support. But I'm also in that many leagues on Red Zone. I can cheer every single touchdown knowing I've probably got that player. So, it's apart from the majority of Eagles players. So, it's about having fun. I think a Kelce or somebody like that does give you an advantage in a league like this. I think if you look at most teams that win in something like this, having a supreme tight end and a quarterback, I think is a really good way to go about it, because it's really hard to pick a tight end after the top three. I think you can make them up. I know lots of people have different strategies like that. I think I'm going to go after the tight end position in this league a little bit, just so I've got some cover and quarterback. So that's normally the two for me. I think you can find gold in wide receiver and running back. So yeah, I think it's harder to find the gems in quarterback and tight end for me. That'll be one strategy. And just want to say hello to James Hasseltine, because it's nice that he's reached out. Hope you're doing well, mate.
Yeah. Hi, James. I similarly agree. I find myself this year in a lot of these charity leagues, I've been targeting tight ends a little bit earlier than what I normally do. I'm normally a guy that I'll wait on a tight end, and I'll get like a Jack Doyle at the end of the draft and just roll with it and try and pick someone up off the waiver wires. But this year I've been targeting Hockenson. Seems to be my favourite at the minute. It's just someone I'm targeting a hell of a lot of around about the 6th round, something there, 5th, 6th round. I'm similar to you, Tim. I think I'm going to go after a tight end early in this again. Now my whole division knows my plan and it's going to just go on the tight end run in front of me and ruin me. But it's okay, because if they do that, I'll just go on the QB run. So
yeah, that's fair. I mean, one thing I just want to confirm, you don't have to start a tight end, which actually makes it more interesting, because while there's a premium for it, you don't have to start one. So Kelce is valuable because he's essentially a wide receiver, right? Let's just be honest. But he's not as valuable in this as he would be in a typical league where the gap to Kelce and other tight ends is massive. So after the first kind of 4 or 5 tight ends have gone, you don't really need to take one until like a lot later in your draft, because you don't have to start one. So one thing I would do is I'd probably, once those top guys have gone, I'm just going to wait until I get right towards the end of the draft, and I'm probably going to take like two or three and hope that one of those strikes out and becomes like the next kind of big thing.
Like a Logan Thomas last year.
Yeah, like Logan Thomas in this is perfect because you're getting that premium for the receptions. You don't need him to score a lot. So
he's very much a wide receiver playing tight end, like you say.
Yeah.
Are you allowing trades again?
Yep. So you can trade in season. You can't trade picks. We actually had a question. I think it might have been in Ben's division, where I went in and just cleared that up. So the reason why we've done that is because, one, it slows the drafts down, right?
Yeah,
unquestionably.
I hate it.
And the other thing is, for us, it becomes difficult to manage because we obviously have to try and keep some level of fairness across all of the divisions. So that's why, while there's trading that's allowed, we reserve the right to reverse a trade if it's like massively lopsided.
Yep.
because we want everyone to have fun, and that means that everyone needs to have fun. So we can't have one division basically creating like a super team because everyone's colluding for this guy to win for whatever reason. So we just want fairness across everything. So easiest way to do that, especially with draft picks, is just no trading of draft picks, but you can of course trade players afterwards.
I am very much here for that, Rich. I despise it. I can't stand it. It drives me insane when I'm drafting when people do it. And our other podcast host, who's not here to defend himself, loves it. So yeah, I'm sure he would not be happy with your stance on that, Rich. But yeah, it's
And
some people love it, and I get it. In certain formats, it works, like a dynasty league or something like that. It would work, but like you say, you want to keep this relatively simple. You want to keep it fun, and
yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's fun.
I'm happy that you're doing it.
That's the biggest thing.
Have you not thought about doing it as an auction?
Oh no.
Well, we did, but it's not really doable because you need to make sure everybody's around at the same time. I mean, I'm happy to do it because I don't sort any of the logistics out. So I think it'd be great if everybody put what time they were available to do an auction and Rich had to match them up. I think that would be absolutely wonderful because it would not affect me in the slightest. But he wasn't up for it. It was very selfish.
I think you floated the idea, and I've never responded to a message so quick. I think I literally just went no, like nothing else, just no, send.
We were Tim. Was you in that auction earlier in the season?
When Jason's one.
Yeah. Sleeper introduced auction, and we were all like, "Oh yeah, let's just do it. It'd be really good." Like we really enjoyed our auction league on Fantrax. It was really good last year. Let's do another one. It was the most painful thing I've ever done in my life.
I think what was painful about it as well was you're all massively bidding players up. So I was actually using that league to test out my auction tool.
Yeah.
That you can get. Just going to plug it. You can get as part of the King Fantasy Sports Draft Kit, which is available online. And everything was just coming across like 300% what the market value would be of those players. Like literally every single pick that was going, and they were like slamming people, going like, "Oh, you've paid far too much." I'm like, "You've all paid far too much," because they'd made the rosters so deep. But I think like one person had spent like 20% of their salary on Patrick Mahomes.
No, and it's Kyle Pitts.
It's basically that draft was still going on. I held our home Dynasty League rookie draft at my house. Tim was there, and I can't even. It was Brevin Jordan. That was it. It was Brevin Jordan, and I was like, I've had enough of this league. I'm going to spend 90% of my budget on Brevin. What was left on Brevin Jordan? I don't care. I've had enough of the league. So I did. So I screwed up your ADP there, Rich.
That format of doing it across a period of time where anyone can nominate a player and bid at any point of the day wasn't a good way of doing it. When you're all there live draft, like I think it's a great way of doing it, but you couldn't do that for
that night we had last summer where we all sat and did the Devi. What was the campus to Campton, and then went down to the Devi League. That auction was absolutely brilliant, where we sat like, and then we had like a break in the middle, didn't we, for like half an hour? Everyone went away, got some beers and some food, and then came back and we started again. That was an absolutely wonderful way to sort of spend an evening in lockdown. But I agree with you, the concept of people doing it. I was in a league a few years ago where it was on my fantasy league, and every time someone bid, the clock reset to 24 hours, and it was the most infuriating thing. I used to try and get all my bids in for players at like 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, my time. So it was running through at 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, because I was with a load of American guys. So I was trying to get my bids through before they went to bed. But it backfired on me because I woke up to find before they went to bed, they'd upped my bids.
Yeah, auction leagues can be fun, but they, like you say, guys, they need to be done in the right way. And certainly, I wouldn't want to do it. How many people are actually in it this year, Rich? The UKFL?
At the moment, we've got 18 divisions that are full. We've got a couple on our reserve list, but I'm hoping that we'll make it back to 20 divisions. Last year, we expanded to 23. I think we're going to drop off a couple of like 3 of those just because I think so many people got really excited last year to just draft because everyone was in lockdown. So yeah, quite happy to go back down to 20. I mean, as long as there's people wanting to play, we'll try and make a space for you. So
20 divisions of 12.
Well, you just keep signing up. So you can sign up at kingfantasysports.com/UKFL. Or like you can DM us on Twitter, which is at UK Fantasy League, or reach out to myself or Ben on Twitter. Twitter handles are on the thingy just now. Ding ding. But yeah, it should be a fun year, I think. I'm going to talk about the charity now. Is that all right?
Yeah,
So
that's fine.
next year?
That was my next question. So go into it.
So the charity that we're supporting this year is it's actually one that's literally down the road from me. It's called First Stage Children Charity, and what they do is they work with families who have children that are technically in poverty. So helping them be able to afford, like just giving them school uniform and like equipment to have like a good childhood. So at the moment they've been with COVID and everything, they've been really having to do quite a lot of stuff in terms of their need has gone up because so many more families have hit on hard times, and their the income has been hit by COVID, as with all of these charities. So when I messaged them about it, I think their direct reply was, "We don't really understand what you're doing, but we're more than happy for you to use anything that you want, and you're going to go. Welcome to come down to the warehouse to see what we're actually doing." So I'm going to take my wife along there. I think some point next week. So that'd be good. I mean, some of the statistics are just mind-boggling to me. Like, there's 4 million children in the UK that are living in households where their income falls below the poverty line. So after they've paid for housing utilities, they have £19 per day to live on, and that's everything. Like your food, clothes, transport, birthdays, everything that they're going to need. Yeah, that's heartbreaking because like today, I'll be honest with you, I spent more than 20 quid on stuff from Amazon that I want but I don't really need. And for someone to be in a position where they have to decide between feeding their kid or that, like, my heart breaks for them. So anything we can do to help is obviously amazing. So if you'd like to donate, you don't have to. Then the donation link is up on the website, and I think it's on all the emails as well. So I'm hoping that we'll make a decent chunk to donate, because that would be amazing. I mean, we're talking, it's a really small charity. If you look at their accounts online, I think they managed to raise, I think, just over 100,000 in a whole year. And this, more than any other charity that we've worked with, is one that we can actually make like a real impact on. If you given them £1,000 is essentially 1% of everything that they raised previously. Which, if you gave like cancer research £1,000, while that's great to give them £1,000, it's not doing the same amount that this can do. So at the moment, our total is just over £500, with just under £100 of gift aid. So I think we're just over £600 in total. If we can get that up, that'd be great. So if you're in the league and you haven't donated yet, please do. Going to be running a bunch of different fundraising things all year, so get involved and let's have some fun with it.
That's great, Rich. That's great. I know I mentioned to you that when I do my DFS charity builds during the season, obviously I do like a little 15-minute podcast on a Sunday. I'm going to donate my entry fee that I put in on DraftKings, so I'll enter, I don't know, probably a $10 contest, which will be the max you can win on that will be about $10,000, and then whatever I would enter my entry fee, I'll give that to the charity, and then whatever I win will also go to the charity as well. So
let's hope you bink a little cheeky $10,000. That'd be amazing.
Maybe it would be amazing. Honestly, it would be amazing, and I'd love to have all of you guys on when I do it. Like, when I do them episodes, it'd be brilliant to have all of you on doing helping me pick a team for charity.
I'll do it.
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good.
We'll do that during the season, and yeah, we'll donate, and hopefully we can win the big one.
That's a great charity. How are you doing prizes or ways for other people to do things to raise money for the charity?
So if you want to, if there's something that you have as an idea or something like that, then feel free to reach out. Like I'm more than happy to listen to any good ideas. In terms of prizes, I've not really spoken to anyone about prizes. Cough, cough, Tim.
I've got something for you. There'll be a choice between three.
Okay, that sounds great. I have a bunch of signed jerseys that my wife has said I'm not allowed to put up on the wall, so I'm going to be auctioning off some of those. I'll probably just do a raffle. So, if you've got the opportunity to make a donation, then please do.
We'll put all three in the raffle then.
That's amazing. Thank you very much, Tim.
It's a great cause. If we've not seen anything from what's gone on in the public media with kids who haven't got enough money to eat and families haven't got enough money to feed, I think the majority of us, if not all of us, the parents on this podcast, the thought of my kids not being able to eat is horrific. So yeah, now's the time for people to get involved in the raffles, get involved in the leagues, and let's raise some money for that charity because it's a great cause. That's amazing.
I mean, one thing that I saw from them is that for every £1 that they get donated, they're able to essentially make that worth £4 in terms of the aid that they're able to give to these families. So if you give like a £5 donation, you're essentially giving £20 to someone who really needs it. And as we said before, that's literally like more than they'll have for a day normally to live on. So yeah, that's amazing. So thank you for that. As I'm the founder of King Fantasy Sports, we're doing stuff with that as well. So if you buy a draft board through us and use the code UKFL, we're going to make a donation charity for any of those sales. I think we're going to probably be giving a bunch of our draft guides away. So what you can get up on the website, which is online. I'll probably be giving at least one to every division winner. So basically, I just want to kind of incentivize people as much as possible to try and donate. So if we could raise, if we get over £1,000, that's all I have in my head as a nice total to get to. That would just be amazing. I mean, I'm really looking forward to going down to this to their warehouse to see how their situation is and how they've progressed as a charity and stuff. I mean, we've done this for 3 years now, and I've never worked with people who are as excited about it while simultaneously having zero clue about what it is. When I was trying to explain it on the phone, I said it's a made up game about a real game. And then she said, is it like Fortnite? And I said, not really, but kind of similar. Instead of controllers, think about geeks with spreadsheets, and you're maybe there.
That'll be all right. Once she meets you, she'll know all about it. Geeks with spreadsheets. She'll be well aware.
Yeah. So, I mean, on a personal note, I've actually started doing Give As You Earn from work, and I'm speaking to my work about we have volunteer hours, so I'm going to be doing some volunteer hours down there. So, I don't know, what they can need what their need is for spreadsheets, but I'm sure I'll find at least one I can do, even if it's just the T rotor.
Guys, that's fantastic. Ben, thank you for coming on once again.
No problem. Enjoyed it.
Hopefully, we can get you back next year for year 4. That'd be amazing.
Depends if Rich is nice to me.
Ben,
if I'm nice to you.
Ben, give us a plug. Where can we find all your work and all your lovely stuff that you do?
You can find my work over at Pro Football Network. They were kind enough and stupid enough to give me a full-time job in the industry. Probably shouldn't say that in case the CEO is watching, but they were wonderful guys. We have a great time. We have a lot of fun writing about football, covering it. We're growing as a site. We've just revamped the site as of today. So that's been really good. You can find my stuff. You can see my Twitter handle at BenRolfPFN. I just write about anything, fantasy, NFL stories, contract stuff, because I'm perhaps an even bigger nerd than Rich, and I quite like to write about players' contracts because, there's nothing better in life than talking about how much somebody else is going to earn.
Tim, Rich, it's been a pleasure. Same time next week.
Jack,
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Jack, I'll give a tenner to that charity now if you give us an update on where your hair's up to. Nice. Rich, send us the link.
What a way to end the show. Thanks for listening.
That's the
everyone.
easiest way to earn £10 ever.
All right, I'll send you the link now.